Hi there, and welcome to Sleepy Sales. I'm Sam, and tonight I'll help you have a great sleep. Get cozy and comfy, and listen to our bedtime stories that will take you to dreamland. Let my calming voice and soothing stories help you relax and have a peaceful night's sleep. Once upon a time, in a far-off land, there was a beautiful castle perched on top of a hill. Inside the castle, there lived a young princess named Isabella. She had long, flowing golden hair that cascaded down her back like a waterfall, and her eyes sparkled like diamonds in the sun. Isabella loved to daydream and imagine herself going on adventures with the prince. She would often stare out of her window and think about the day when her prince would come and take her away on a magical adventure. One night, Isabella was lying in her bed, unable to sleep. She tossed and turned, trying to find a comfortable position, but nothing seemed to work. She decided to get up and go for a walk in the castle gardens, hoping the fresh air would help her relax. As she strolled through the gardens, she came across a handsome young man sitting on a bench. He had curly brown hair and deep blue eyes that sparkled in the moonlight. Isabella was immediately struck by his beauty and felt a flutter in her chest. The young man stood up and introduced himself as Prince William. He had come to the castle to meet Isabella and ask for her hand in marriage. Isabella couldn't believe her luck. Her dream had come true. She and Prince William talked for hours, sharing stories and laughing together. It was as if they had known each other their whole lives. As the night grew later, Isabella and William decided to lie down on the soft grass and look up at the stars. They held hands and whispered sweet nothings to each other, feeling the electricity between them. The air was warm and fragrant, and a soft breeze played with their hair. Isabella felt her eyelids grow heavy as she snuggled up to William, and soon she was fast asleep. In her dreams, Isabella saw herself and William walking hand in hand through a beautiful meadow. The sun was shining, and the birds were singing. They were surrounded by a sea of wildflowers in every color of the rainbow. William picked a pink rose and gave it to Isabella, who breathed in its sweet scent. As they walked, Isabella felt the warmth of the sun on her face and the cool grass under her bare feet. She felt safe and happy, as if nothing could ever harm her. William looked at her with a smile on his face, and she knew that she had found her soulmate. Suddenly, Isabella felt a soft touch on her cheek, and she opened her eyes to see William looking at her with love in his eyes. He leaned in and kissed her gently on the lips, sending shivers down her spine. She wrapped her arms around him and kissed him back, feeling his warmth and his love. Isabella and William lay there, wrapped in each other's arms, feeling the warmth of the sun on their faces and the cool grass under their bodies. They knew that they would spend the rest of their lives together, exploring the world and making each other happy. As the sun began to rise, Isabella and William got up from the grass and walked hand in hand back to the castle. They knew that they had found true love and that nothing could ever tear them apart. Isabella climbed back into bed, feeling warm and content. She closed her eyes and drifted off into a deep, peaceful sleep, dreaming of the magical adventure that awaited her and William. As Isabella closed her eyes, she felt the soft blankets and pillows of her bed envelop her. She took a deep breath and felt the cool air entering her lungs. She imagined herself in the meadow, feeling the soft grass under her feet and the warm sun on her face. She felt happy and relaxed. The moon was shining outside. As Isabella closed her eyes, she felt the soft blankets and pillows of her bed envelop her. She took a deep breath and felt the cool air entering her lungs. She imagined herself in the meadow, feeling the soft grass under her feet and the warm sun on her face. She felt happy and relaxed. The moon was shining outside, and the room was dimly lit. Isabella felt herself getting more and more comfortable as she sank deeper into her bed. She felt her body begin to relax, her muscles loosening as the tension of the day slipped away. Isabella took another deep breath and exhaled slowly, feeling her heart rate slow down as she did. She felt her mind begin to quiet, the thoughts of the day slipping away as she focused on the present moment. As Isabella lay in her bed, she felt a sense of calm wash over her. She knew that everything would be okay, and that she was safe and loved. She felt the warmth of the blankets around her, cocooning her in a comforting embrace. Isabella began to drift off into a deep sleep, her breathing slow and steady. As she slept, she dreamed of the beautiful meadow and Prince William. She imagined herself running through the fields, feeling the wind in her hair and the sun on her face. In her dream, Isabella felt free and alive, her worries and fears melting away as she ran. She felt a sense of joy and happiness fill her heart as she laughed and played with William. As Isabella slept, her body relaxed more and more. Her breathing became slower and deeper, her muscles fully releasing the tension of the day. She felt her mind become quiet and peaceful, the thoughts of the day drifting away like clouds in the sky. Isabella slept soundly through the night, the dreams of the meadow and William filling her mind. She woke up feeling refreshed and energized, ready to take on the day with a renewed sense of purpose and joy. Throughout the day, Isabella couldn't stop thinking about her dream. She felt as if she had been transported to another world, a world filled with beauty and joy. She felt a sense of wonder and awe as she remembered the meadow and the sun on her face. As the day turned into night, Isabella found herself looking forward to sleep. She wanted to dream again, to return to the meadow and to William. She prepared for bed, making sure that everything was just right. She turned down the lights and climbed into her bed, feeling the softness of the blankets and pillows around her. As Isabella closed her eyes, she felt the familiar sense of calm wash over her. She took a deep breath and exhaled slowly, feeling her body relax. She imagined herself back in the meadow, feeling the wind in her hair and the sun on her face. As she drifted off to sleep, Isabella dreamed of Prince William once again. This time, they were exploring a beautiful forest, filled with towering trees and shimmering streams. They walked hand in hand, feeling the cool breeze on their faces and the soft grass under their feet. As they walked, Isabella felt a sense of wonder and joy fill her heart. She had never seen anything so beautiful and magical before. She felt alive and free, as if nothing could ever bring her down. As Isabella and William continued to explore the forest, they came across a clearing. In the center of the clearing was a beautiful pond, surrounded by colorful flowers and a gentle waterfall. Isabella felt drawn to the pond, its beauty and serenity calling out to her. As they approached the pond, Isabella felt a sense of peace wash over her. She felt as if all of her worries and fears had been washed away, leaving her feeling completely at peace. She knelt down by the edge of the pond and dipped her fingers into the water, feeling the coolness against her skin. As she gazed into the clear water, Isabella saw her reflection staring back at her. She noticed that her eyes looked different than before. They were brighter and more alive, as if they had been opened to a new world. Suddenly, Isabella felt a hand on her shoulder. She turned around to see Prince William smiling at her. "Isn't this the most beautiful place you've ever seen?" he asked. Isabella smiled back at him. "Yes, it's absolutely breathtaking. I'm glad you think so," said William, "because I wanted to show you something." William led Isabella to the other side of the pond, where there was a small hill covered in wildflowers. They climbed the hill, taking in the beauty of the flowers around them. At the top of the hill, William stopped and turned to face Isabella. "Isabella, I brought you here because I wanted to ask you something." Isabella felt her heart skip a beat. She had a feeling she knew what was coming. "Isabella, I know we've only known each other for a short time, but ever since I met you, I've felt like I've known you forever. You bring a light into my life that I never knew existed. Isabella, will you be my girlfriend?" Isabella felt tears of joy welling up in her eyes. "Yes, William, I would love to be your girlfriend." William smiled and took her hand. They sat there, looking out over the beautiful landscape, feeling the warmth of the sun on their faces. As the sun began to set, they made their way back to the pond. They stood there, watching the sun dip below the horizon, the sky painted in oranges, pinks, and purples. As the last bit of light disappeared from the sky, Isabella felt a sense of peace wash over her. She knew that she was exactly where she was meant to be, with the person she was meant to be with. As they walked back to the castle, hand in hand, Isabella felt a sense of joy and contentment that she had never felt before. She knew that life wouldn't always be easy, but as long as she had William by her side, she could face anything. They walked into the castle, greeted by the warm glow of the torches lining the walls. As they made their way down the hall, Isabella felt a sense of excitement building inside of her. She couldn't wait to see what the future held, with William by her side. They reached Isabella's room, and William turned to her, a smile on his face. "Good night, Isabella. Sweet dreams." Isabella smiled back at him. "Good night, William. Thank you for a wonderful day." As she climbed into bed, Isabella felt a sense of gratitude for the beautiful day she had just experienced. She felt happy and content, with a sense of peace that she had never felt before. As she drifted off to sleep, she knew that she would dream of William once again, but she also knew that their love was real, and that they would face the future together, hand in hand.